Stupid vehicles multiplied by stupid engine conversions equals stupid squared, and that's exactly what this 2002 Ford Transit van is. These vehicles, I don't know why anyone would own one. They're very ugly, they're very unreliable, and just in general, a crap car. But this one has something kind of cool going for it because it is powered by a 5.7 litre alloy V8. This is from a Holden Commodore, and it would have made 220-ish kilowatts, 300 horsepower from the factory. In a Holden Commodore, these engines were absolutely everywhere. Nowadays, they're getting harder and harder to come by, and this engine actually came from a WH Statesman, which you could buy for $2,000 a while back now, and you'd use for conversions like this. And this thing, it actually doesn't go too bad. For a transit van that's shaped like a box, it's okay. V8, it's got the power there, it can spin the wheels, and it sounds pretty cool because it's a V8. This car is being featured in Supercheap Auto's Best Performing Oils campaign 2024, and I have been given the task to transform the van into an ice cream van. So we've got a lot of jobs ahead of us in converting it from your regular passenger vehicle. This thing was a retirement home car at one stage in its life. It's actually got some wrapping. You can still see the faint lines there. So we've got to transform this car to be on set for the oils campaign. V8, yeah, that's cool, but it's not cooler than a turbo V8. So that's why we're going to add this bad boy. This is a G42, which we've got quite the task to fit it. There's a little bit of room in the engine bay, but the biggest thing that we're dealing with here is a time frame. I have pretty well a week to get this thing done, so I'm going to be doing it a little bit janky, but also as best as I can get it done in the time frame that I have. So this is actually going to get mounted underneath. We're doing a rear mount turbo. I've got a scavenge pump, thank you to Al who hooked me up. This is an Italian scavenge pump, which we're going to be sucking oil from the bottom of the turbo and probably run it back up to the valve cover. We've got some racework stuff, we've got surge tanks, we've got a bunch of gear coming, and the end goal is so that this thing makes whooshy noises and possibly spins those wheels a little bit better than what it needs to. It doesn't actually need to spin wheels, but everyone loves a skid.
I've got one of my best mates, Geordie, helping me on this project. It's a massive job, so the extra set of hands is super helpful. First job on the list is to remove the exhaust and find a suitable location for the G42 Turbo.
That's at least $100 there. Cash it in. I think that's a pretty good location for the G42. It actually fits in there quite well. A few things to think about is one, dump pipe, make sure it's got enough room to get out. Also the intake and the clocking of the turbo. Because we're rear mounting this, we've got pipes that have got to feed from the manifolds into the turbo, but also this has got to run back up to the intake. We'll clock it. I reckon the compressor will probably be clocked that way. This is a 2.5 inch outlet. I'm not too sure if we're going to use 2.5 just yet. I might step that up to 3. I've just got to work with the material that's available to me right now. And the exhaust housing, I'll probably spin that over here and entry will be over this side, I think. Mounting the turbo, there's a few ways we can do it. I just chopped off that bit of alloy from the compressor housing, which is how Sketch had the turbo mounted before, but I'm actually going to do it a different way. We've got this, I'll call it an oil drain mount. This is from Silky Fabrication. Those of you who know, Silky's got the crazy dado wagon that does like gnarly wheel stands and makes over 1,000 horsepower from SR20. So crazy car and a really good bloke, and he sent this up to me to mount this turbo. So this will get mounted onto the frame of the turbo, and then from there we've got some, it's not chromoly, it's just some steel pipe we're gonna bend up and mount it to the frame somehow. So you'll see the process, but yeah, these things, if you got a turbo that you need to mount, these are good for like thin wall stainless manifolds with a heavy turbo, but you need to support the turbo. So this is a really clean way and of course strong way to mount the turbo. So thank you, Silky, awesome. I'll leave a link in the description for if you want to buy one of these. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Oh. That's a 90 degree there, isn't it, you got?
No, it's like 70.
Someone's gonna yell at us in the comment section, tell them we're doing it wrong, but we're just, if in doubt, hit it with the flame. Hard devil. Yeah.
It looks a bit wonky.
No, that's all right. That's perfect.
Oh.
Oh no. What's he done?
No, that'll be fine.
Now you just need a distance to there. Yeah?
Good thing I didn't cut it any shorter. Oh no, that's mint. Okay, so yeah, now we just need the height.
Working under the car really is taking its toll. We got the MIG set up, actually really easy. Read the instructions, connect up some wires, connect up the gas line, and put the wiring, away we go. So now, point and shoot and tack this one bar into location, then pull it off, I'll TIG weld it, then start on the other side. Or maybe we start on the other side, then weld it all at once. We'll do that. Yep.
Yep.
Eyes. Fourth time's a charm.
Oh.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Righto, donkey.
Let's just not zoom in on it. That's beyond 90.
It looks good. Looks good from my house, bro. That's fine.
We're allowing for some expansion.
Yes.
It's gonna
Thermal.
Yeah.
Twist back.
That's right.
One of the biggest problems with low mount turbos usually is road clearance, but we're pretty spoilt with the Transit fan. It tucked up really nicely under this heat shield, which originally was home to either a massive catalytic converter or possibly a DPF filter. This is my first time doing a low mount turbo setup, but with some tips that I've learnt off the internet and some helping hands from some awesome mates, we're pulling it off and it's working out quite well. After we've got the turbo mounts welded up, we've given it a hit with some MTM paint, and then we can start on the plumbing.
Turbo's mounted up under the car in a great position, and I've just welded on a little elbow to the turbine entry. I've also just taken delivery of a Go Fast Bits EX50 wastegate, which will be added onto that merge. But I've had to take a stop and let some other guys work on the car because the nature of this build, it's a deadline. We've got to get this done, and the car needs to be wrapped to be an ice cream truck. So I got the lads from Battle Wraps in to help me. We've got Sam over here, and sorry the car's not clean for you, mate.
That's okay, we'll get through it.
Making you work harder.
Yeah, no, it's a challenge.
And we've got Robert over here too. How you going, man?
This thing's horrible, man. This thing's horrible.
It's a transit van, come on.
It's done some transiting, man. It's done a lot of transit.
So the guys have got me some pink. This is the only pink we could get at such short notice, but it actually suits the car, I think, very well. It's going to look really good for the ice cream livery. We've also got a design done by the crew at Supercheap Auto, which we're all working together to get done. So it's going to be pretty well like a bottom pink. There's going to be some sign writing, but I'll wait till it's all done But the scoop factory is in full motion and we are getting there.
One of my biggest concerns with this project was getting the wrap job done. I can spin spanners all day long, but making this van look like an actual ice cream truck had me worried. I've never had anything to do with wrapping a car before, so it was really cool to see the process. I gave it a crack myself, but we were limited with the material we were using and there was nothing to waste, so I left it to the pros to get the job done.
Sam's done with the first, I'll call it a panel on the car, I suppose.
Yeah.
Looks good, mate. Looks good. This colour suits it well.
It's the perfect colour.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm really keen to get the rest of the design on, get the die cut lettering on, finish cleaning the vehicle up. Should be
Sweet.
really good by the end of the weekend.
I'm going to have to get the gurney on the roof because that's looking pretty...
It looks really bad now.
Yeah.
The rest of the car's clean.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Robbie and Sam from Battle Wraps really went above and beyond for me. This van was absolutely atrocious, covered in mold, so we had to clean the thing from top to bottom before we could even wrap the paint. Even the little things like Robbie restoring the plastic bumpers with the heat gun and painting the tow bar makes such a difference, and I'm stoked that I had the opportunity to work with these guys.
You've definitely handled a rattle can before, that's for sure.
You can tell because I'm using the thumb. Like it's a big round circle. What if you have an ice cream scoop behind it instead of a tyre?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, you keep doing the heavy lifting and I'll keep just walking around looking like I'm contributing.
And, you know,
With the base colour down, Robbie and Sam headed back to Battle Wraps HQ to print off all the overlaying stickers. All of the additional designs are cut from vinyl using a Roland blade printer. Once it's finished in the printer, the excess vinyl is removed by hand using a razor blade, and then a transfer paper is placed on the outside of this sticker, which makes applying it to the vehicle a lot easier.
There's a big sticker.
I've got to give a massive shout out for the crew at Battle Wraps for doing an epic job. They worked day and night and they got it done in record time. The end result was absolutely perfect and I couldn't be happier. If you're in Southeast Queensland and you're looking to get your car wrapped, please give the boys a yell. I've got a link in the description for their business. The same goes for everyone else that's helped out on this project. Please check the links in the description to support those that support the Skid Factory.
While the lads were wrapping, I made a bunch of progress on the turbo manifolds, I suppose you'd call it. I made a merge out of 2.5 inch stainless pipe, and this is what I've ended up with. It's a little bit janky. It's not janky, it's more so my TIG skills aren't the best, and it's good to do a job like this and get some practice on the torch, which is good. So that's what I've come up with. There is a bit of sugaring on the inside, which I'm just going to hit with a die grinder. I have used too much heat. Usually you'd purge something like this, and that comes down to practice and torch control. So that's going to work. This is going to be probably on the passenger side like that, and then driver's side, and then the passenger bank's going to feed into this mandrel there. And I've also made a start on the wastegate merge too. So I'm using a Go Fast Bits EX50 wastegate for the car, and it's getting merged into the pipe which sits off the turbo. So this is on the turbo like this, and basically I've just put the wastegate in a suitable position where it's going to be out of the way but also makes room for the exit pipe to go in a suitable location. The flange, I've just jumped on the old Duncan and given it a scallop, and that's worked out well. So that sits on here, giving it a whole saw out. Now I just need to jump back on the TIG and weld that up. That can then go on the car, and then I've got to join these two pipes up using some V-bands off the manifold and also a flexi.
I thought we had it at 400.
Who mismeasured this, bro? I think I was holding the camera when this was measured.
Oh, I've grabbed the wrong side of the pipe. Derp.
Bell end. Good, yeah?
It's good, yeah. So that's the turbo manifold, I'm gonna call it, tacked up and in place. So we've got the standard pipes coming out. We've just got 2.5-inch V-bands. They're MIG'd on one side, TIG'd on the other. This feeds into your merge, little flex join, and all the way into the G42 via a Go Fast Bits EX50. That's all looking pretty good. I did mount the EX50 as close to this flange as possible, purely for a strength point of view and also just gate priority, but being that this kind of does weigh a little bit, it's close to the flange, close to the V-band, that's solid there. We do have to put a couple of mounts further up on the back of the gearbox, and I think that would be enough to hold it. The turbo is solid as, like, it's not going anywhere, so extra bracing should be fine. That is looking pretty good. Now we've just got to get it back off the car, TIG it all up, and then it can go on for good. Then we change the TIG to alloy and start working on some cooler piping to go up into the passenger side.
Do you know what we're doing for dump yet?
Oh, we should do that while it's still on. It's not hard to change over, but yeah, I'm just going to do a little off the side here. Another day, another tradesman in the shed to do some carpentry work today, mate.
I'm not fishing, I'm doing carpentry, eh?
Hey, we only use tool pro on the shed here, mate. I don't know about these screens.
Sorry, no media, sorry, no
don't
media,
know about
no
these
media,
screens.
no media.
Stuff,
Hey, whoa, no, whoa.
So I've got salmon around. We need to have a platform here for serving ice cream. So the door's actually going to get removed, and we're going to be putting a platform in. And luckily, I've got some spare VJ laying around when we sheeted the office. So going to put some VJ in along here, little platform, and then I don't know where the ice cream machine's going, somewhere in the back there. There's plenty of room. And yeah, so you confident in this, mate? It'll take you like 2 minutes or something? What do you reckon?
Don't know who found me, but yeah, I'm here, I don't know. Fake it till I make it.
I'm very lucky to be surrounded by some awesome people that can come and help me out with builds like this. I've known Sam for over 15 years. He's a bloody top bloke, an even better chippy, and some say he's not a bad fisherman either. Up the froth baits.
Yeah, g'day mate, what can I get for you today? Oh, got you some WD-40, maybe a ratchet, how about a grinder? Or this something bit of you mate, but it'll have a level.
Oh, so good.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of more up my alley, mate.
$20, mate.
$20? Nah, come on, mate. Is that morning price or afternoon price?
This
This is sick. Dude, this is so good.
Sam's just about finished with the ice cream platform. That's looking pretty sweet. Just need to give it a coat of some gloss white to finish it off. And now we're going to move on to the engine bay. We've got to fit some injectors, some rails. There's also a surge tank and a fuel pump and stuff to fit, but we'll get onto that later too. So let's check out some of this stuff from Raceworks. The standard rails do work for this application, but Raceworks make these pretty sweet billet rails. So we are going to be using these. Also got some 980cc Bosch injectors, a bunch of fittings. We've got air intake temp sensor. We've got a 2-bar map sensor, which is going to help read all the boost pressure. Go Fast Bits FXR fuel pressure regulator, and there's also a bunch of fittings to fit these rails up to. I think we're going to be using -8 just in case the owner wants to make more power in the future. There is room to move. We've got Geordie on the job. Geordie's not confident on the TIG, so he's going to
I had a crack. Made
Right.
a bit of a mess.
Dude, it's just practice. Don't worry about it.
I'll get there.
Rails are easy though, eh?
Yeah. That's just spanners and fittings and yeah.
Just don't break those connectors so we don't have to replace them. They're looking pretty crusty.
Look at this thing. Lots of chances. No boost. Boost.
The map sensor on a Gen 3 LS is located at the back of the inlet manifold, and this Raceworks replacement slots straight into the factory location.
Come on, Clado, Smoko's over.
Play-Doh? What are you talking about?
Wheel of Fortune, you gotta like sell it to me.
There you go. There it is. Raceworks.
Fingers?
Yeah. Holy moly.
Bam!
There's a few electrical jobs that I needed to get sorted, so Miller from Miller's Auto Electrics has popped around. He's fixing up the thermofan wiring, tidying up some ECU wiring, and also sending down some power for the additional TI automotive fuel pump and scavenge pump for the turbo. We're mounting a Go Fast Bits FXR fuel pressure regulator directly onto a Raceworks surge tank. This will be plumbed back into the surge tank for a deadhead system with only one -6 AN line running up to the fuel rails.
You love lubing everything.
You can't have dry rubber just
You can.
shoving in.
Just smash it together.
Bloody willy-nilly.
No, I get it. I need to buy rubber grease. I'll buy some.
Please do.
Geordie's got the surge tank going together, and it's worked out really well having the reg on top there. We're using a Walbro 460 fuel pump, TI Automotive EFP 287 is the part number. And that is one single pump is definitely enough for the power we're chasing. So that's going to get mounted up under the car somewhere. So basically, one -6 line goes from this reg all the way to the rail, and it just dumps and returns back into the surge tank. So that's good. Once the fuel system's done, we're going to probably mount a catch can too up in the engine bay, another Raceworks item, just to clean up the engine bay and make everything work. Once you add some boost, everything else starts to go wrong. So you need to account for these things. Hey, I wanted you to touch the van up, mate, not the forklift.
Oh, my mistake.
Guys come round to connect to, is it HP tuners they're using? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're actually tuned it.
So it's a standard ECU in the Mr Zippy, and it's not going to like boost very much. So, well,
It'll love it. Once we tell it to love it.
I don't know about the 4L60 though.
No.
No.
The 2-3 shift will be there for a very short period of time.
So just treat it with respect. Sweet.
Yeah, we've basically told it some stuff. We said you've got really big injectors and you have a turbo. And it was like, okay, cool.
So is this good to be, is it going to be zippy now, or what's the...
If we put some boost here, it'll be zippy-er.
I would love to bring it down to your dyno, but one, you don't have 5x160 hub adapters.
I don't have 5x160 hub adapters, and I don't think it'll fit in the room.
Mr Zippy is nearing completion, but not before I make a quick stop into my local Supercheap Auto store to grab some supplies. I need to grab a few items for the workshop, as well as some engine oil and an oil filter so I can keep the Turbo LS Transit running super. This is incredibly tight. The EX50 comes standard with a 13 PSI spring fitted, but to make sure we keep the rods in, I'm swapping it out for a smaller 7 PSI spring. Another legendary mate to add to the list, Ryan from RK Garage, has come around to help me with the intercooler piping. We're using Raceworks 3-inch alloy pipe, which we're running directly to the throttle body. No intercooler, no worries. Ouch. Hey, double whammy. Burn your arm and fall off your makeshift chair. With a couple of beads rolled and the addition of an air temperature sensor, the hot pipe is just about ready to be fitted up and we can almost start the car. We've been busy on the wheelie chairs under the Transit and we're really close to starting this thing up with the turbo now. So Geordie's just been doing a bit of a hot tip. You've got a 12 volt battery from the Tool Pro range and we're actually hot wiring the pump with this wire here to fill the surge tank. So we've got a Raceworks surge tank up there. I got showed it before. Got the deadhead system with the Go Fast Bits reg mounted directly to the tank. This then returns back to the tank via this red line. We've got it. It's kind of janky, but it just works. It's just got a T-piece here. I didn't have a -10 to -6 reducer, so I just welded some weld-ons together and made it work. And because this car was originally a diesel and now it's a petrol, it's got some add-ons, so that's what we're working with. I don't have time to pull the tank down and do stuff properly, so it's just got a EFI hanger which feeds the surge tank via a fuel filter, and then we come out in the reg and then deadhead through another 10 micron Raceworks filter that shoots up to the rail. We've got the turbo set up all good and everything is 100% as per emissions from standard. As you can see, this also feeds into a scavenge pump. This should probably have a bit of a sump and also a breather, but I'm just gonna, I don't know why this wouldn't work. This should work. If not, we need to have a breather on this line somewhere, but this is -10 to the scavenge pump and then goes -6 all the way up to the back of the valve cover. So we're actually getting close to start this thing up now. And wait, how you going? You ready to go?
Very excited.
Very excited.
Hey. much.
We've got some fresh plugs in the car, fresh oil filter, everything's plumbed up. And now we're just putting some oil in. I've got no idea how much an LS takes, so I'm going to use the dipstick, otherwise, knowing my luck, I'll overfill it. How much does an LS take, Geordie?
About that bottle, I reckon.
You reckon a 6 litre?
Yeah, possibly a bit less. I can't remember.
We'll need a little bit more for when it's doing wheelies anyway.
That's right.
For a bit of oil surge.
Yeah.
Oh, good one. Kyle to the rescue.
Yeah, we're at 3, so another bar, please. Yeah, right, alright, I'll just quickly do that. Bar it up. Yeah, do it again. Bang on.
I knew it.
The LS doesn't know that it's in a transit van. We've got the Como. There goes me Go Fast Bits boost gauge. Speed warning, we've got the Como dash. Oh, it's the battery lamp actually. We've also got the Como shifter. All right, going again. Now that I know there's no boost rags installed, I'm gonna put this pipe on and we'll start it back up again. Oh, that hot pipe though, yeah.
We should have just put some fins on the, like, you know, like VL Turbo spec. Bit of a heat exchanger.
Like a 2-stroke.
Yeah.
Very loud. We may or may not be about to go for a test drive, but we need to put our 16-inch Venom covers on first. I went with the black and silver because I think it will suit the pink and blue quite well. Done.
They really finish it off
They
nicely.
do set it off. They're like spinners. Spinners would be perfect on this thing. We're just about to throw Mr Zippy onto a tilt tray thanks to Millsy at Veterans Towing, but not before I get kicked in the butt with a leaky turbo because I try to cut a corner and not use a sump for the scavenge pump and it hasn't worked. So this morning I've made up this very submarine looking tank which is going to definitely do the job. This holds 1200 ml of liquid, and what's actually happening is not only is the residual oil pressure from the engine still leaking oil through the turbo, but the dash 6 line that runs up to the valve cover, I think that's actually also draining back. So we came in this morning, there was a puddle of oil on the ground. So we've had to remove the wastegate, remove the turbine housing, clean all that up, and I've come up with this as a kind of a temporary solution. I only say temporary because it hangs quite low from the turbo and it actually is the lowest point of the car, which I don't love. But being that I've got 2 hours till Millsy picks this thing up, it's the only solution I kind of had. Luckily, I've got a bunch of Raceworks weld-on fittings and barbs that I was able to kind of cut up and use. This is going to get bolted on, remake an AN fitting, start it back up, make sure there's no oil leaking out of the turbine housing. We are then hopefully good to go and head down to the Supercheap Auto Best Performing Oils campaign. All right, there is the finished product of the emergency turbo Sump 2000. I've added in a breather too, so it goes up to the engine bay. That should do it. Now we've just got to start it up and get it onto the tow truck. What's that? What are you doing?
We're not worthy.
My job here is done. Supercheap Auto wanted a vehicle for the Best Performing Oils campaign 2024, and I think I've delivered quite a unique car. LS1 powered Ford Transit van with a little bit of a sprinkle from the Scoop factory. It's now driving out a turbocharged LS with a G42 Turbo and a bunch of awesome stuff from Raceworks. To increase some engagement on the video, I'm doing a giveaway. What I want you to do is comment below what you would build for Supercheap Auto if they gave you the chance to build something for their ad within a reasonable budget. What are you building? Why is it unique? Let me know. And I've got stuff like a thermal gun, scan tool, and also a heat gun. I'll give all these three away. I'll just pick 3 comments out of the comments section. Not these exact ones, these are my workshop ones, but I'll send you some new ones. Let us know in the comments section what you're gonna build for them, and that may just as well be the next build I do for Supercheap Auto. What you need to do now is go over to Supercheap Auto's channel to watch the video. It's the biggest ad ever in Australia. In my opinion, it's the best ad that anyone's making in Australia. It's epic. Every year they go better, they go harder, and you can find that video right about here. Click it, give it a watch. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on The Scoop Factory. Enjoy.